Now we start the second part, which is about augmented analytics. And I'm very glad to announce our first speaker, who is my friend Maxim Gorbachevskiy, who is the CEO and Chief Infographer at who will talk to us about the art and science of infographic design. Maxim, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Walid, for the introduction. And I'm very happy to be here for the second year in a row. Belgrade is always very welcoming. And I would be happy to share with you this year some of my knowledge that I gained. And this will be some reflections from the practical experience, because we are not going to talk about some aesthetics in terms of some nice pictures from the museums, but we will try to do it as practical as possible. So when I originally invented my talk, I made some nice title with aesthetics in it. But then when polishing my slides, I realized that in fact it should be very plain, simple, and boring, like how to shift from this to this. And it reflects what we will be actually talking about. We will be talking about graphic design for analysts, which is very hard to express in words, because we always know that, for example, the left chart is boring, not showing some relevant information, and so on and so far. There's a number of reasons why the left chart is bad. And there is a number of reasons why the right chart is better, even if it might be worse, in fact, in terms of the actual data, but it looks nicer. So our 25 minutes today will be about how to make a data visualization that you have a bit more visually appealing, a bit more interesting, a bit more engaging, and a bit more actionable. So, and to do that, to discuss that, let's start with some foundation. And the foundation, let's do with the Zen, with the Zen icon that shows us that aesthetic means it should be aesthetic inside and it should be aesthetic outside. Inside it should have the proper meaning, and outside it should have the proper form, so that it works in balance, it works well. It might be a very nice detailed analysis in a bad shape, so it will be ruined, it will not be delivered directly to those who need it. Otherwise, it might be a nice picture without any interesting insights. So this chart, this graphic might be completely useless as well. So let's discuss every of these sides in a bit closer, have a closer look. And let's start with the inside thing, and the inside thing is about data. And I'm not here to discuss with you any blah blah about that we live in the lakes of data, and we need to swim in it, and we need to try to find a way how to take some answers out of it, because this is all that we know. I would like to outline some foundation for you regarding the data. Maybe some of you know what is the DIKY pyramid. Do you know? Anybody? Please raise your hands. Okay, yes, some of you know. So DIKY stands for Data, Information, Knowledge, and Wisdom, and that's a general concept about data. So what it is, how to structurize the data types, and in terms of visualization, we can do it plain simple like this. The first level, D stands for data, and it is about simple visualizations of what is inside the data. You show some very basic pictures, just showing what's inside my data, what's inside my table. If you go one level up to information, then you start labeling this information. For example, this geographic chart shows the average temperatures, and then you start understanding the data. You have some meaning behind the numbers that you've seen. And if you go next level up, you add some context, you add some knowledge to, you add some context to it, and so then it becomes sort of like integrated story. I don't mean you should draw lines between dots. No, this is just one example that demonstrates that the different variables on the picture should be somehow interconnected. But in general, it is about bringing the data into the bigger context so that your user can understand this. And here I'm not talking about pictures, I'm not talking about presentations, I'm talking about the data visualization in general. It can be in dashboards, and it can be in PowerPoint reports, in whatever tool that you have. So what we're talking today is absolutely platform agnostic. I'm giving you the foundation that you can apply to whatever tool you use. Might it be Excel, PowerPoint, or even Paintbrush. And the upper level, the wisdom, is the applied knowledge. That's so you make out of what you have gained on the lower levels. Then you have the wisdom is some applied knowledge. And to the right, I highlighted the decision risk scale, which shows that when you climb up the ladder, the risk, the level of risk that you take to make a specific decision based on this data decreases. So basically, when you are down on the lowest level, you have lots of data and you have no idea what to do with it or what decisions can you make out of it. So when you pass this information to stakeholders without extra preparation, then they will be doing some wild guesses what business actions to do. But when you are on top of the pyramid, you prepare their actions. So they are easy to take informed decisions. And I'm not telling you that every level of pyramid needs a different design. No, it is about basically even the same type of chart, but differently presented. So for example, on the picture to the left and to the right are just the same, but the picture to the right has some more context added, some decorations on top of it and so on and so far. And even if you remove some extra decorations, it will still serve the job of the informative job. So, and the main concept, let's go deeper in this pyramid. The most important thing is that if you structurize this, the upper level of the wisdom as something that will happen in the future compared to the analysis that you have done in the past. Then we come to the following idea that wisdom is actually action. So when you are doing a more advanced, a more detailed graphic about your data, then you are preparing the action. So the graphic becomes actionable, so this is what is actually happening in business. And the problem, where lies the problem? As of now, everything was quite familiar to you, I suppose. So the problem lies at the moment when you realize that analysts are working, data analysts are working a lot on the lower level only. They prepare the data, they crunch the data, they prepare data models, they do a lot of data wrangling, and then they come up with just one chart and like a winner, and they say, "Hey, Mr. Boss, I made this chart. That's a nice one. Please use it." And then Mr. Manager says, like, "Oh shit, what? I don't understand that. Please make it, convert it into some message, make it understandable." So here comes the gap. The analysts usually work till a certain moment of this pyramid, the first one. And the stakeholders are, for stakeholders, it's only the beginning. So unless you have overlap, for example, an analyst who is very capable of delivering his information, or maybe some stakeholder who is very capable of deeper understanding of data, you will not be able to understand each other. So there comes a gap. So, and this happens 90% of the time. Sometimes you have the good team that works pretty smoothly, but that's not always. So how to work with it? Let's dig deeper into some practice. So I will share with you one case that I had just recently. It was a telecommunications company in Peru, and they came up with, they highlighted one specific problem that they had. They had a problem of human resources. They were doing very aggressive sales, and the problem was that they needed hundreds of people of sales force in order to keep up with the sales targets. And the problem was that there were no dashboards at all that would track current HR attrition. So they started with very basic thing. You see the sales director drawing himself the numbers of the current daily count of headcount. So every day they were literally calling supervisors, checking how many people in the team they had today, and they were writing this on the board. So and they were building some simple chart like this, basically on a piece of paper. So let's check the situation. How is it? What is this? The business context and objectives. How to work with this? You start with asking very simple questions. You start with basically a couple of questions. What is the business problem? And what are the goals that are this specific person or the department is trying to achieve? And in the end, what do you plan to do with this data? How do you plan to use this data in order to solve your specific goal? And by understanding the third question, how do you use it? Then you will be able to understand what exactly do you need to deliver, because quite often what is needed is not what is asked. There is a gap between these two things. So when we asked these questions, we got very simple answers. What's the business problem? We are short on staff. What's the business goal? The goal is to have 100% of staff. Why? Because in case we do not have 100% of staff, then we are short on sales. Then we cannot sell enough, and then we cannot fulfill our strategic business KPIs. That's it. So and what you are planning to do with these numbers then? Push HR department to hire more. That's kind of simple. What do you do next? With these answers, you start drawing, and you switch off your laptop or your desktop, and you start drawing with the pen and pencil, with your pencil, because the best ever invention in life is the pen and pencil, pen and paper. Sorry. Because in this case, you do not think in the way how I will implement this style. Because you should not think like a horse blindfolded. You should think in a solution style. Like I have this problem. I need a visual solution for that. So and as soon as you think it this way, so you may come up with some solution that was not obvious at first. So let's have an example. That's the table, a real table of the headcount per department, per supervisor, and to the right there is a real step-by-step process of how the thought of the visualization went through. Believe me, it is not about doing some super beautiful visualization. It is about structurizing the information visually. So at first, what we have head count and we have missing head count. So we started building the chart like, okay, out of 6, we just color 4, and then it will be like how much do we have out of how much do we need in total. But this still doesn't serve the job of. Does it serve the job of showing the data? Yes, it serves the job of showing the data, but it doesn't serve the job of communicating the essence. What was the business problem? The business problem was in communicating the gap. Are we good on numbers? Are we short on staff? This is not visible from this picture. Or if you may say like, no, this is visible. I may respond, not enough. There is always a better solution. So next step, we try to move the charts, to move the axis and allocate the axis in the way so that we have what we have already to the left and what is to go to the right. Great. Now it looks much better. So now we can visually compare what do we already have, what are we missing? Because for us, it is not important, the total numbers are not as important as the number of missing values. And next step, we realized that maybe the color coding that we created is not good enough, because maybe what we should highlight is actually not the values that we already have, but the numbers that are missing. So in this case, the chart was just the same, but the color coding became the opposite. And some may say, like, what's basically the difference in it? But the managers will say, that's a game changer. And in the end, we ended up with the diagrams like this. We will come back to that a bit later. It's still not, this visual is still not final, but it shows visually where we are and what we still need. And these are the real numbers. So let's move on with the dashboards. With the dashboards, it is the same. I love pyramids, so we have a lot of pyramids here today. We're building lots of pyramids. Yes, Valid? So some of you know that there are 4 main types of dashboards: strategic, operational, analytics, and tactics. Every of the dashboards serves a specific purpose. I'm not going to discuss this in detail. I'll just quickly scroll through it, that every of the type of dashboard serves its specific purposes. Most of the time, they look almost the same. The charts are the same. The only difference is that which KPIs do you select for this or that specific report. Even the data is multi-used. It is multi-use and multi-views. So the same metric you show in the same in 2 different dashboards in 2 different formats. Strategic dashboard, for example, has just one number of 95% of the KPI, revenue KPI, and operational dashboard has it as a detailed chart, for example. So every dashboard has a specific question in mind. Why do I need, as a user, why do I need to look at this? So of the 3 ways to deliver to create a dashboard, start with the data, start with the picture, start with the problem. Now you understand it clear that we are starting with the problem in mind. So we understand the question, what is needed to be communicated, and we structurize it. And so we have what we gain out of it. We gain the hierarchy of the KPIs. We have some critical, some important, and some other relevant. As you see, there is nothing different between thinking about a single chart or about a dashboard. They are basically the same. The questions are the same, so because the dashboard is a compilation of a number of charts and tables, basically. So if you decompose logically one big question down to simpler ones, then you have the answers. What exactly visuals do you have to build? And I'm not talking about any beautiful visualizations that you cannot build yourself. Now we are going to the aesthetic part, and now we will be talking a bit about design, how to design it, and how to be agnostic about your technological stack. Because all the nice creations in the art and history are great, of course. My previous talk last year was about that, but today we are focusing on more down-to-earth things. And we are focusing first of all, we are focusing on aesthetics as the practical thing. And aesthetics, just a brief foundation, aesthetics as a thing is a repetition in your head of some good things that you've seen before. Like, so you've seen some nice drawings, you like them, and then your brain remembers, oh, that was nice. And after that, when you see another drawing of the same type, your brain thinks, okay, yeah, that was a good one. So that is also aesthetic one. So when you see this picture, what your brain thinks? Your brain thinks, oh, that is simple to understand. Why? The brain doesn't think that it is beautiful. Your brain thinks that it is simple to understand because you don't have visual clutter here. You don't have any visual exaggeration here. Everything is neat. You have zone of focus, so you can easily digest this. And of course, there are lots of charts available, but the principle is universal. Any type of chart can be can be aesthetic. In case you apply just general principles of labeling, coloring, and so on and so far, just select a specific type of chart that you need for this and that specific situation, and basically this is it. My whole talk last year was about that, so you can refer back to it. Just check the links. You can gain something out of my previous talk as well. But today I will share with you my process. How do I work with this chart? So after the mock-up that I showed you, just the drawing on paper with pen, I do 5 steps. Declutter, I form the tables charts, color, alignment, and decorations. Let's have an example. This is an example chart from the ticket trend sales. And the problem here is that a couple of employees left our company some time ago, and we are short on staff. And the problem is we need to push the decision of the general management to allow us to hire 2 more employees. How to do that out of this chart? Basically, this you without ever changing its type, shape, whatever. Going through the simple process that I shared with you, we start removing or improving the following elements. The title is not needed. The axis is basically useless. The labels of the axis are very bad because very hard to read. Even the legend is basically not needed because well, you can do it in some better way. And on top of that, a lot of excessive chart junk, which can be removed and skipped, and even the labels. So if you remove all those things, and with these iterations, you can end up with the following chart that easily demonstrates that we were on track with everything, and all of a sudden, starting from May, we have problems, and this is the number of sales. Of the sales, so that's why we need 2 extra full-time employees. Bam, that's it. Without changing even without changing the type of chart, this can be done in Microsoft Excel. You can improve vastly to deliver the message. So is that with that dashboard that I showed you a bit before. You have a look at the picture to the right. With a couple of minor modifications, it became way more engaging and way more delivering this specific focus message than before. So that's the dashboard in real life, and even in real life scenario in Power BI dashboard, it still works. So another example. So how to do that? First, you have the chart, and then you start improving the chart type. You think, is it the right chart type or not? Then you start working with decluttering it. You remove the unnecessary axes, labels, titles, and so on. Then you do the coloring. Coloring is important, and you color it in the way that it reflects the data. And then you do some final touches, like putting the legend in the right place so that it works, so that it demonstrates. So that it is easier readable. So, and this is a chart. What's about dashboard? Just the same. But the dashboard is just the same. To the left, I highlighted for you a very dull and boring, non-aesthetic dashboard that might deliver the message, but it might have very important information. But it's so ugly to look at that nobody would want to use it, because besides the need to use, there's also I want to use it or I don't want to use it. And if you are a dashboard builder, if you want your creations to be useful. So when we are talking about the dashboards, it is actually about the principles of Gestalt. Gestalt is a psychology principle. Some of you know about it. And here I focus, out of many principles, psychological, I focus it narrowed down to just 4. Which are important to understand: proximity, similarity, closeness, and continuity. And these 4 principles are very help you make the zone of focus. Zone of focus. First, you look at this. Second, you look at this. Third, you look at this. And it all makes up into a design system. It looks it sounds very terrible and complicated. What is a design system? In fact, this is just the typical logic how you design all the elements. So all the titles have to be this size, all the colors have to be this color, and basically this is it. It is systematization. Simple. For example, consistency comes from alignment of the elements. You align all the elements all together so that they form up together, and in case the elements are not aligned, is it a problem? Basically, no. But will it add excessive, unnecessary level of visual disturbance? Yes. So you use the grid. To put all the elements in place. Depending on the type of system that you have, maybe some of you are using some systems that already have all the grids and you don't have the problem. Some others do have this problem. For example, tools like Tableau and Power BI can allow you to do whatever you want with the layouts, and it is a problem. And also remember that the reading, user usually starts reading with the top left corner, so there should be the major attention to it. So consistency in elements and consistency in colors, is very important for you. And also even the tables. When you work with tables, tables are very often overlooked. Table is a great source of information, is a great thing to visualize, because if the table is not appealing, is very just standard, then it's kind of hard to read, because usually they are very condensed, very badly done. So in the end, you can go from a dashboard like you see on the left picture up to a dashboard that you see on the right picture. And in the end, what you have the zen of your user without much of additional efforts. You stay agnostic, you stick to your tool, and at the same time you improve the communication between the team, you remove the gap of the DIY pyramid, and the process is kind of very simple and clean. So, make your information clear. For every one of you who is interested in data visualization, I have a special quiz that I created. You can scan this code and try to test your skills of data visualization. It's free of charge, absolutely. There are just 10 simple questions. Use it and just let me know what do you think of it. And if you need more of information about that, more of the QR codes are available on the booth of my friends at CBS over there, the orange guys. And yeah, let's make your information clear. That's very cool and simple, way simpler than you think. And I'm open to your questions. Please.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Maxim. Thanks for the clear and colorful presentation. We have a couple of minutes for questions. Seems it was super clear. Super clear.
So bad and so good to be super clear, because there are no questions unanswered. Well, no stone untouched.
Well,
yes?
then,
anyone? Okay. Thank you everyone for your time. I hope it was very valuable for you. If you passed the test, please text me then what did you like about it. And
well, we have a break coming up as well, and I would like to invite all of you to talk to Maxim. He's a super cool guy. This is a certificate of appreciation from the conference. So thank you very much for your efforts. Thank you.